We got to look at it. A lot of it has to do with these fantasies that we're fed. So we are fed to multiculturalism as idea and some kind of spirit, but the other people are operating based on their ethnicity. Yes, they're operating on their ethnicity. The Koreans are operating on the basis of a consciousness and an identity of being Korean. And they use that consciousness and identity to advance their economic interests, and now they're going to use their economic interests to advance their political interests in this country. The Chinese are doing exactly the same thing, moving rapidly ahead in the world's economic system. Based on what? Their Chinese-ness, not their multiculturalness, but their Chinese-ness. The white man has a global economic system because white men live all over the globe and traded with each other all over the globe. And therefore, through a communications network, trading network, and so forth, they were able to come to dominate. But they did it in terms of what? Their whiteness. You understand what I'm telling you? An economic system is not a system of money. It is first and foremost a social system, a system of social relations. An economic system existed prior to money. Economics comes out of the way people choose to relate to each other. And if they relate to each other in a particular sort of way, they can develop economic power and so forth. We have plenty of money as African people, but the nature of the way we relate to each other socially does not allow us to use the power that is in that money. And see, multiculturalism is going to blind you to these power possibilities and these fantasies. So I'll wrap it up here, and we'll throw it open to the floor. I just want to remember one thing here. If you want to understand a lot of what's going on and a lot of the violence that's going on, you can look at what's happening in this community as you would look at what happened to China during the Opium Wars. And it pays you to study that. And remember that at first the British got hooked to tea. They became addicted to tea, but the British aren't growing the tea, you know, right? Tea was growing in China. And the Chinese says, you can have all the tea you want to, you got to pay us in silver and gold. Interestingly enough, though, the British didn't have anything the Chinese wanted. You know, they saw their products and what they were doing is superior to what the British were manufacturing. So you got a trade imbalance going there, right? The British gold and silver was flowing out at a tremendous rate, and had it kept doing so, the British would have suffered social disorganization. Because, you know, it takes money to maintain institutions. It takes money to maintain governance. It takes money to create jobs and other things, to maintain the population at peace and harmony with itself. And when your money is flowing out of your country and being sucked out, then your social institutions, those institutions that maintain harmony and peace and law and order and education and all that stuff begin to collapse. And respect for government and authority and all that stuff also begins to collapse because the government shows itself to be ineffective. So the society begins to what? Become disorganized, and you will have then violence and other kind of criminality and things occurring. So the British recognized that they couldn't keep this.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, Bakari? What's going on, Erica? Yeah, I didn't even know that. I'm sorry to hear that right there. You know, yeah, I definitely hope you feel better. Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate you for coming. But damn, yeah, that's crazy, Erica. But anyway, you know, I meant to do this like an hour ago, but you know, stuff happened. You know what I'm saying? And before I even came on here, I'm gonna tell you this. You know, I was supposed to do the Black History thing. You know, I needed like, you know, I had to skip it this time, you know what I'm saying? Because I needed a space from it, you know what I'm saying? And they ain't really have the right time. So I had to skip it this time. So let's just say like that was the end of the first semester. We go to the next semester on the next one. All right, But while I'm here, because there was some stuff, and before I did this, it was some stuff that kind of like I've made myself mad before I came on here, just listening to black people talking, and it's just like, at the end of the day, we are straight doomed, we are doomed, and hopefully the younger generation won't pick up this stuff, but I've seen brothers on here, like arguing all kind of stuff. And now this is what I'm talking about with the Black History thing. So we just gonna go over it because y'all work with me here because it's like I'm gonna do like show y'all 3 different kind of avenues, you know what I'm saying? So y'all walk with me and my computer is messing up. And I will put the link in because a lot of people are saying stuff about Black history. And like I said, man, if you have something to say about it, then come on here. And it was a couple of subjects that people had ran from me on anyway when I told them they could come on here and get it, you know what I'm saying? Or let me know where I'm wrong at or anything like that. So I'm gonna do that, right? But like I said, man, I heard black people just saying like all kind of stuff about history, and then also I know that whole other stuff be making y'all mad, but this makes me even mad. I'm not even gonna play it though, right? But this video right here, this at first I'm like, yo, these is like dumb, educated, you know what I'm saying, whatever. But then I realized, you know what I'm saying, like it's not just they don't know, they do know better, you know what I'm saying. They are selling these points with ulterior motive, and I don't know what they trying to like get or trying to do or trying to prove, but I don't know, man. It's just like, yo, this whole thing right here kind of made me mad because, like, they just going on a whole thing about why you shouldn't support black businesses, you know what I'm saying? And, they make a joke at the beginning about, like, oh, yeah, they just want to make books and sell money because it's capitalism. But then at the end, they ended it by promoting their books, you know what I'm saying? And I think this is just as like, this makes me just as mad, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why, it just does, you know what I'm saying? That kind of pisses me off, you know what I'm saying? And I was listening to that before I even came on here, right? But I'm not gonna go in on other black people like y'all like to do, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, like I said, I was supposed to come on here earlier, but I know a lot of y'all probably came from y'all cookouts and stuff and celebrating the Memorial Days and all of this stuff. But since I'm not gonna do the Black History thing, I guess I'll just like, sum it up. Like anything that we talked about, I know y'all probably ain't gonna have nothing to say, so I'm gonna say something after this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna show this stuff, but I'm gonna just go through it, you know what I'm saying? Just like as a recap, you know what I'm saying, since we been in the situation. Because there's a few topics that some people had questions on and then they never showed up, you know what I'm saying, which I think be interesting, you know what I'm saying? Because if y'all was really telling the truth about this whole history, but since y'all talking about a Memorial Day, let's talk about, or just look at some of the people that we should be celebrating or memorializing, you know what I'm saying, for the stuff that they, have done for us, you know what I'm saying? Um, so some of the people that we talked about, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna try to do it in order, but it's probably out of order. Right. So, and like I said, I ain't gonna show none of this stuff, but like Gasper Yanga, led one of the first, you know what I'm saying, black revolts, you know what I'm saying, established a free black community that lasted for like 40 years, you know what I'm saying. This is one of the brothers that we talked about, you know what I'm saying. So like why are we talking about Memorial Day? At least look at some of the people that we should be looking at, you know what I'm saying. But so yeah, man, it's shouts out to Gasper Yanga and everything that he was accomplishing. And like I said, man, I know y'all don't be paying attention. Like y'all would probably get an F, all of y'all, except for like a few of y'all, you know what I'm saying, would probably get an F for the first semester of Black History course because I don't know. But if y'all got like a person or something that I talked about, you know what I'm saying, or a figure that I talked about so far, you know what I'm saying, you can mention them too, who y'all think we should be recognizing on this day, right? So then we had like Queen Nzinga. We talked about Queen Nzinga and what she was able to do. You know, she used their feuds and stuff and got them fighting with each other, but she fought all the way until she died. You know what I'm saying? She went against it from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And the sister was a warrior, so you know, I definitely had to shout out. You know what I'm saying? Queen Nzinga, because we talked about her, and this was like early in the beginning. So you know, y'all go back on some of the earlier episodes. You know what I'm saying? This was another sister who fought the revolution. Fought. Well, it was our revolution, but fought in a war to stop them from colonizing in Africa. So, like, let me let this play since it's, you know, y'all respect this brother right here.
Africa itself, that was a great event that has been forgotten. Concurrent with the slave trade, and almost at the same time it began. Now, if you study the Nigerian woman, Madam Tenebu, who was in the trade for local consumption, and when she discovered that the people that she was capturing and using for local consumption were being taken out of Africa, not returned, she began a war on the trade and fought the trade to a standstill and fought all the kings in the business, including the king of then Abukudu. And this is well recorded. And part of the story that there was a man asking for her hand because her husband had killed, asking for her hand in marriage. And she told him that she had a man's work to do and she was not a woman until she finished it. And her job, she considered to be, is to pull from the throne every king in the slave trade. And when the last one was no longer king, she turned to the man that had been asking for her hand in marriage and said, okay, I will marry you now. I'm a woman. Now I'm a woman. I finished the man's work, so now I'm a woman. Married and went to a place called Jos in Nigeria.
All right. So yeah, that's that queen who fought, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't stop until, you know, they got pushed out, right? And of course we talked about Mackendall. Like that was one of the ones that I liked hearing about Mackendall, you know. The brother never snitched, never did anything, right? And then they said, if you got any last words, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna come back as a mosquito just so I could keep, because he was teaching the slaves how to poison them, you know what I'm saying? He realized that maybe using weapons, he was at first trying to arm black people back then, right? But he realized black people had this propensity for like, oh Lord, I ain't using no gun back then. So he started teaching them how to use different methods to protect themselves and started teaching them how to, you know, poison. And he had people from like, you know, he had a whole lot of people that was supposedly down with him until somebody snitched, right? Because that's one of the things that we've been seeing. But when somebody snitched or whatever, you know what I'm saying, they tied the brother up, you know what I'm saying, and they asked him if he had any last words. He said, yeah, I'm gonna come back as a mosquito just so I could do, that's when I'm gonna do real damage, you know what I'm saying, or so I could do more damage or something like that. But that was like one of the most gangster things somebody ever said. Then they'd be like, yo, he escaped when they set him on fire because the ropes burnt off him and he was able to run out. And some say that he moved up. And then, you know, they try to make the comparison that he became like Duddy Bookman. But they said he did what Duddy Bookman was doing with like 50 years before that. So, but anyway. And you know, this was you know, a Samba's rebellion. This was down in Louisiana in 1730s, you know what I'm saying? Because we have a lot of misinformation about like the history that we have, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you right now, right? And you can come on here. That's why I put the link in there, you know what I'm saying? Because people be saying all kind of historical stuff that's not accurate. And then a couple of things I said, okay, we're gonna talk about this, and they ain't even show up, or they ain't really want the smoke. And like I said, I'm still here because like if I'm wrong, you should probably be able to correct me about it. But you know, this is Samba's rebellion. You know, there was Queen Nanny, right? And ironically, Queen Nanny, she was stabbed in the back allegedly by a dude named Captain Sambo. You know what I'm saying? And that was before the Sambo slur, but you know, that was kind of funny. But you know, she you know, of course the stories weren't true. They don't know when the sister, you know, died. But anyway, you know, another sister, Kuba Cornwallis, you know what I'm saying, who was a sister. She became the people nominated her as the Queen of Kingston, and she was able to heal people. She healed, you know what I'm saying, like she was real nice with healing and also nice with that poison too, you know what I'm saying. And then there's another one, this brother here, and then you see your boy Danny Glover playing this dude, but you know, just slave rebellions. The brother Mingo, I think this happened in Virginia too, you know what I'm saying. He was one of the brothers who led rebellion, right? Oh yeah, that's one of the things I missed though. Oh no, that. All right. Of course, we talked about Gabriel Prosser, right? That brother went out like a soldier, you know what I'm saying? Never snitched, never said a word, you know what I'm saying? But, you know. And of course, people like Paul Cuffey, who was a successful businessman, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if he was a mulatto or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that's with that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show you some of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't gonna play it, but some of y'all like have tried to critique history. I know I got a small channel and you know it's not out there, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I know y'all probably not gonna have a lot to say about this particular subject here. But you know what I'm saying, y'all did have a lot of smoke during that time. Now, because it's a lot of stuff because you know I'm gonna go ahead and say like what's with the Wolof rebellion, because how the Indians, right, of in Santo Domingo, the Tainos and whatever, stabbed you in the back after the black people came there and showed them how to fight, who was the Wolof, right? And they stabbed them in the back, you know what I'm saying, even though they still won, you know what I'm saying. And they showed them how to fight the Europeans, you know what I'm saying? Because of course the Tainos was getting crushed, but you ain't have no friends even then, you know what I'm saying? And then another thing I saw earlier, right? A brother, they keep saying, you know, the first black slave owner. Now we went over that, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted y'all to come on here so y'all could say, now this was the quote unquote first slave in America, the dude John Punch, right? Because a lot of people try to be like that guy, Antonio Jack, you know, whatever, Anthony Johnson or whatever. But this is not true. This was clearly 14 years beforehand, and then they don't really know the case that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's going on, highly favored? Yeah, so I was supposed to do the Black History thing today, so I'm just going over to some of the stuff, and then people had so much smoke, but I still hear us saying so much misinformation about history. Like I heard a brother the other day say, like, yo, Andrew Jackson was not white; he was probably black. Right? Like we got to stop like all of this nonsense. But that ain't even make me more mad than the other brothers saying that nonsense that they were saying. This is why it's important that we have this history thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to kind of go over it for those of you who had, you know what I'm saying, all of the smoke. You know what I'm saying? And who really think that, you know, because like I said, I told y'all can come on here. I gave y'all warnings about when I'm talking about this stuff, and they did not show up. But anyway. Right. So we also have to mention the Black benevolent societies, you know what I'm saying? Because I think this is important even to where we are today, right? The stuff that they did to help each other, mutual aid societies, you know what I'm saying? Self-governance, you know what I'm saying? They help each other, right? And this is Black people in different cities reaching out to each other, you know what I'm saying?
Societies are largely community-based organizations established for benevolent or charitable purposes such as the creation of community development activities, facilitate representations and recommendations to the relevant authorities for the improvement of the community infrastructure, promote, assist and support the creation of healthy lifestyles and a high standard of family life, foster the creation of job opportunities via skills training.
And it's crazy because they did this stuff in the 1700s and here it is today and we can't do nothing. We can't really do nothing, you know what I'm saying? And I know this may not, because y'all talk about history an awful lot, but like when we really talking about it seriously, like nobody is there, you know what I'm saying? And let me make sure. All right, yeah, see, but anyway, you know.
These societies exist mainly in the form of community development action committees fostered by the Drug Abuse Secretariat to assist in the fight to reduce the incidence of authorized societies are societies that can be established for any purposes other than banking with the authority of the minister under whose portfolio the department falls. African Union Society, established November 10, 1780 in Newport, Rhode Island. There, free blacks organized to promote the local black population's welfare by assisting its members in time of need. The group did not limit itself, however, to its membership as it also engaged in activities deemed beneficial to all black people in Newport. It was
now you see 1780, right? They put their resources together, which is supposed to be a whole lot less than what we have today. They pulled their resources and did things as a community to help each other and did what they deemed what was best for just their community strictly. And for some reason, we think that we can't do that today, or we're not supposed to, or I don't know what we're thinking.
Was intimately concerned with their moral fortunes and assisted them by recording their births, deaths, marriages, and by seeking to apprentice black youth in useful trades. Because of Newport,
and does to apprentice black youth and the proper trades, you know what I'm saying? And shouts out to Casidra who's doing that, you know what I'm saying, and all the people out there who's doing that. But
Port's central location as a trading port, its free black inhabitants often met their members from other cities, especially in the north. The African Union Society maintained a regular correspondence with free blacks elsewhere. In June 1787, for instance, its secretary wrote to Boston's free blacks about immigrating to Africa. Earlier that year, blacks in Boston had appealed to the Massachusetts General Court for support in returning to Africa. They had implored, "We, or our ancestors have been taken from all our dear connections, and brought from Africa and put into a state of slavery in this country, from which unhappy situation we have been lately in some measure delivered by the new Constitution which has been adopted by this state, or by a free act of our former masters. But we find ourselves, in many respects, in very disagreeable and disadvantageous circumstances, most of which must attend us as long as we and our children live in America."
Right. Oh, so yeah, I just wanted y'all to kind of get of that. Now, listen, I told y'all been arguing about the same nonsense for like 200 some years now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that we still stuck on the same cycle, right? But you know what I'm saying? A lot of people got a lot of stuff to say about a lot of this stuff, but they don't really be there. You know what I'm saying? I probably should have showed this at first, but like, you know, then you had like Richard Allen and the black churches, because that was another topic that we was talking about, black churches. And I know that's an important topic, right, in the black community and stuff like that. But they was also played a beneficial part in the mutual aid societies. You know what I'm saying? This is how the people in Philadelphia reached out to the people in Delaware who made theirs in Rhode Island and all of them, you know. But okay, so all right, yo. So this is something else, right? Because a lot of y'all talk about, oh yeah, the slave trade and all of this stuff, and because he mentioned the Constitution too. Because earlier I said, and people kind of got offended when I was like, yo, we is not citizens of this country. We ain't Americans. We never was supposed to be Americans. And I told them they can come on here for that, but they did not show up for that because for some reason they want to be so bad, but we have never been. And it don't make sense if it was, you know what I'm saying? And that was another thing, but I will get to it because that was something else that they ran from.
He fought in the French and Indian
Oh
War.
yeah, so we talking about oh yeah, the people coming from Africa because they say they did not come from Africa. So this is another brother who they can't debunk because they don't really know about it. See, I'm gonna show you stuff like this, not the same stuff that y'all arguing about. Here's another brother here. You know, we could have talked about Phyllis Wheatley, but you know that's a suspect in itself. How about this brother?
Fraught, but very fruitful life. He was kidnapped from Africa as a young man, enslaved in Barbados, and then later in Connecticut. He fought in the French and Indian War, then the American Revolution, freed, lived as a free man in Vermont, and lived long enough to tell his story.
He was blind at the time. He entitled it The Blind African Slave, or Memoirs of Boireru Brinch, nicknamed Jeffrey Brace.
Now he named it the blind African slave, right? And he said somebody, you know what I'm saying, type it up. I don't know who you're gonna say lied, but that's what they called it at the time.
And the story was told by Brace to a young lawyer in St. Albans. This is an insanely rare book at this point.
Solomon Northup, who a lot of us might have become familiar with about a decade ago from the screen version of his memoir, 12 Years a Slave. This predated Solomon Northup's own autobiography by many decades, actually.
Jeffrey Brace was taken as a teenager, so he remembers his time in Africa. He remembers some of his language that he learned growing up. As far as scholars can tell, based on the book, he probably was taken someplace in the area of modern-day Mali, was sold to a ship's captain named Isaac Mills, and Isaac Mills ended up using him as a soldier sailor, and he fought in the French and Indian War on the British side and ended up joining the American Revolution. And he fought on the side of the ultimate victors, you know, the colonists, and that service resulted in his manumission. And he made his way to Vermont, which was a place where one could...
Yeah, until a line as George Washington, who we always also talked about, right? Because he was a liar, and just like John Adams, you know what I'm saying? And all of these quote, oh yeah, we're gonna get on the white abolitionists and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, speaking of that, I'll talk about the white abolitionists, you know what I'm saying? But that's just, you know, from brothers telling the story themselves, right? Because you like, well, you can't trust anybody else's. This is supposedly coming from black people. This is what I'm talking about, right? And so, oh yeah, I was like, yo, slave ships. Does anybody have anything to say about the slave ships being real or not? Well, here is a captain right here. Who wrote this book in 17 and something, you know what I'm saying, who was a slave trader who sold the ships, and he wrote a book on how to prevent mutinies, you know what I'm saying, and how to treat the slaves, you know what I'm saying. Of course, you know, y'all got to work with me because my computer is going to keep messing up, but
A New Account of Guinea and the Slave Trade, Book 2, 1734, by William Snellgrave.
now his name was William Snellgrave. He was the captain of a slave ship, right? And he's talking about the first time he saw a mutiny.
The first mutiny I saw among the Negroes happened during my first voyage in the year 1704. It was on board the Eagle Galley of London, commanded by my father. We had bought our Negroes in the river of Old Calabar in the Bay of Guinea. At the time of their mutinying, we were in that river, having 400 of them on board, and not above 10 white men who were able to do service, for several of our ship's company were dead, and many more sick. Besides, 2 of our boats were just then gone with 12 people on shore to fetch wood, which lay in sight of the ship. All these circumstances put the Negroes on consulting how to mutiny, which they did at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just as they went to supper. But as we had always carefully examined the men's irons, both morning and evening, none had got them off, which in a great measure contributed to our preservation. 3 white men stood on the watch with cutlasses in their hands. One of them, who was on the forecastle, a stout fellow, seeing some of the men Negroes take hold of the chief mate, in order to throw him overboard, he laid on them so heartily with the flat side of his cutlass that they soon quitted the mate, who escaped from them and run on the quarter deck to get arms. that they could not do it. My father, seeing this stout man in so much danger, ventured amongst the Negroes to save him, and fired his pistol over their heads, thinking to frighten them. But a lusty slave struck him with a billet so hard that he was almost stunned. The slave was going to repeat the blow when a young lad about 17 years old, whom we had been kind to, interposed his arm and received the blow by which his arm bone was.
All right. So if y'all want to hear that story or whatever, now the next thing was the abolitionists, because we talked about the abolitionists who was nothing but white nationalists, because for some reason we love the abolitionists. And I ain't even got to John Brown yet, because y'all know John Brown ain't real, right? But anyway, this was the first John Brown, you know what I'm saying? The dude, they talk about it, and some people would talk about it in their talking points as Bacon's Rebellion, and where they separated and quote unquote made race, which is not true. It was already a thing by then, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the concept of their system of race, you know what I'm saying, has already existed by then, right? But even with this dude, because they try to be like, see, now it's gonna mess up, but it's all good though, because I'm not even gonna show it. But anyway, this dude, Nathaniel Bacon, there you go, from Bacon's Rebellion, right? Now, he was a rich dude who came over here because his rich parents sent him over here. He tried to be a part of the government, but they did not accept him. And this is the story about your quote unquote abolitionists or the white liberals today, right? They was never your friends, you know what I'm saying? And he got mad because they kicked him out of the government because he wanted to go kill more Indians. But they wanted to have these treaties because they was using the Indians to be slave catchers, right? So they had more treaties or whatever. So they didn't want to go kill him, but he wanted to go kill him. So what he did was encourage black dudes and white dudes to go storm the Capitol to put him in charge, you know what I'm saying? Not to free anybody, right? He wanted to just go kill more Indians and take more land, you know what I'm saying? But he wanted to be in power. So even with his story, it's not like we even portray it, because if you really look at it, what he was really trying to do was just take over, you know what I'm saying? And he used your muscle by telling you what you want to hear. And then we talk about, well, we was all one and all that. No, you wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to play this one, but I'm not gonna play it. So yeah, I kind of know y'all be quiet on the history part, but listen, a lot of people disagree and say different stuff in different places. So, I'm giving I know my channel is small, but I ain't gonna play it. But black women were essential to that abolition movement, right? Because it was mostly like what I was showing y'all with the black churches and other black people who was essential in doing this kind of stuff. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff that y'all argue about now, you know what I'm saying? Now, one thing is this Brown Fellowship Society, right? Because this mulatto class, right? Because people get mad at me about the mulatto thing, right? But listen, it's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? They've been doing this, you know what I'm saying? I hope this goes right to the right part of the interview. Because they asking these mulattoes, you know what I'm saying, how they felt about everything. And I remember they said something important. But I know y'all love y'all precious mulattoes, and y'all kicked me out the cookout before y'all with them on this Memorial Day. But that's why we talking about history, since it is, you know what I'm saying? At least talk about your own damn history on the day, right? All right, so this probably not going to play. But I was hoping to get to the part. I think I remember, but I don't know.
All right, everybody. Thomas Jeremiah, who was probably the property. But my point is that just because you're a slave doesn't mean that you didn't have a set of saleable skills. Yeah. Denmark Vesey himself, he's doing better in the lottery than I've done. Okay. Now all
right, they were saying something, right, about they still have this society, right, where the mulattoes separated themselves, right, and the mulattoes have played a big role in whole history, even up to right now, you know what I'm saying, where where we are with the history lessons with the Haitian Revolution. And I'm telling you, man, like, you may want to say whatever, but historically, this got you in trouble. Now, y'all might want to be like, yo, everybody is black and hold hands with everybody. You know what I'm saying? And y'all defend mulattoes an awful lot. You know what I'm saying? But it has not worked out for you in the past. I'm just saying. Right. So this is the Mulatto Fellowship Society that they put together. And this was a kind of common thing. You know what I'm saying? And we know that it transcended, because people be like, racism is only in America. No, it transcended everywhere. You know what I'm saying? All right, and then we talked about Fort Mose, but that was also connected to the Stono Rebellion. But this is another thing, because a lot of people use Seminoles and like the Seminole Wars, even though it was a different time from the time frame that y'all trying to use it in, right? And at the time, the area that's called Florida was owned by the the Spanish. So it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, your own thing, bro. It was those of you, it was a quote unquote runaway slaves, you know what I'm saying? And if we talking about going back in history, we're gonna have to go back further than like the 17. We're gonna have to go really to the 1400s. I maybe give you 1500s, but really the 1400s for our ancestry, if we really want to get into these conversations. But 1700 and all that is too late. But anyway, so before people went to the north, they went to the south and down in Florida. And you know, Fort Mose was an all-black settlement. And of course, the Stono Rebellion was like a group of brothers trying to escape down there, and they almost made it. They got within like 30 miles, but you know, with the snitches and everybody, they got caught and then lost the shootout. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. And this was another one that kind of got interrupted with the Gullah Geechee. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all have a lot to say about all of these topics, but like not when I'm doing it. And that's okay. I must be right. I'm gonna just take it as I'm right. All right, anyway, so this one was the Gullah Geechee, because this joint is gonna be messing me up. All right, so we was talking about the Gullah Geechee, and that show kind of got interrupted. And I don't know if y'all got something to say, you know what I'm saying, about Native or African tribe, but they do say they're an African tribe, you know what I'm saying? And they're supposed to be the descendants. So, oh yeah. So, oh yeah, this was another slave ship story about a dude that was reported in the newspaper back in the 1700s, 1729, right? So the ship Claire, and they got the captain's story about coming from Guinea and all of that stuff. So, you know, y'all could do y'all research on how that's not real. Now, some of y'all was like with the Constitution, right? And I'm gonna show you this dude here. Let's see, yeah, it's gonna mess me up. All right, so this dude, Charles Pickney, you know what I'm saying? Now, he was one of the people who wrote the Constitution, which y'all say is the land of the law, which y'all sign up for, which y'all go by, and all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Now, he was one of the founding fathers, right? And he's telling you that you was never meant to be I'm gonna just show y'all this one, all right? For those of you who said, if you haven't noticed from like the last, how old, like 300 years of history, right? I'll just let one of the founding say this, because I've seen brothers on other platforms arguing about this stuff and arguing about how they citizens and all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't got nothing to do with no damn reparations or none of that, because you try to make it seem like, well, I'm American. We've never been American, right? So in the speech, right, the dude who I was just showing you, who was a member of the Constitutional Convention and helped write the Constitution, he said, I say that at the time that I drew that article, I perfectly knew that there did not then exist such a thing in the Union as a black or colored citizen, nor could I have possibly conceived it, or nor could I have conceived a possible thing such happening, you know what I'm saying? such a thing could ever have existed, right? He's trying to say, like, man, when we wrote this, right, black people, of course, they was not citizens, and I can't even conceive them ever being citizens, right? So you can't really use that, and you can't go back to certain things, because I see people like, well, you know, you could vote and all this. Well, that's not exactly accurate either, right? Because if you look at the states, because they just gonna be like Pennsylvania and, like, you know what I'm saying, like places like that. And that goes back to that white abolitionist stuff and the sick, and they was eating them, you know, like, that's a whole nother story. But the abolitionists and all of that, man, they was you know, but anyway, that's Pennsylvania. And then they actually reversed that, you know what I'm saying? Because in Pennsylvania, the same state, right? A bunch of black men petitioned Congress because free black men who had alibis and everything checked out, they got kidnapped. And these free people like, no, we got to have a trial first. And I think they ended up sending them down south into slavery, right? Because you get paid more for sending a slave. But anyway, that's just for y'all who be like arguing about whether we citizens of America, right? All right. And so if y'all have anything to say about any of that, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all probably don't, because y'all are interested in history if you're arguing about it, but y'all probably got to do research to debunk it, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But it's not to be debunked, you know what I'm saying? If what I'm saying is inaccurate, some of the stuff ruffles some feathers, you know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff that I was saying ruffles some feathers, but when I said I was going to talk about it, I gave people an opportunity, a heads up. They did not show up, right? So you have another opportunity right now to come on here, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is really show this, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to skip this one, right? I'm going to just go into it because I'm taking too long anyway. All right. So like I said, man, if y'all, because y'all like to change the subject, so there's a lot of different subjects that you can come in and talk about right now if you really wanted to. All right. Well, hold on one second. I got to make sure my computer good before I do this. Give me 1 second. Because my computer keep freezing. All right, yeah, my bad, because it's still messing up. But anyway, so I'm going to talk about, so I'm still going to go at what y'all love the most, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show y'all, you know, what I think is the most dangerous species in the universe. But before I do that, you know what I'm saying, I also want to show y'all this because I think that it could probably affect us first and probably coming to us because we rely on other people for like food and all of that stuff. And you know what I'm saying, it's definitely going to be an issue with the farming and all of that stuff. And we talked about the black farmers, but we're going to be like, well, we don't need to support them, because I hear black people saying all kinds of stuff, and those are the most dangerous ones to me. But before I do that, I'll do this, you know what I'm saying? Listen to what they said though.
Can't just say, hey, I'm going to get rid of these people and then look at the farmers that are left without workers.
Aware of the need for agricultural workers, Jerry Spencer turned to unemployed Americans, but says after 2 weeks, most couldn't cope.
With the American workers, they all had to be taught all this and separate. And in addition to the fact that their bodies just were not built for it.
Third-generation farmer Scott Benton says the effect on farming was devastating.
a lot of people left, and all the workers left, and people were, you know, all they had the crops out there ready to harvest, so they didn't have anybody to pick them. So a lot of farms lost their whole crop.
You're not.
I'll play that one part again.
And in addition to the fact that their bodies just were not built for it.
It's a generation.
Right, so their bodies ain't built for it. But you know, one thing that could affect you is the you know, because we know our communities get hit the worst because we're not going to do anything to help our own communities and stuff like that, because we'll find different kind of reasons. Now, let me say this, right? Because Black people have been pissing me off lately, and I tried to do something positive at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of Black people is saying stuff. That's why, like, if you come on here, like, you know, you can say what you want to say, but I can't promise about what I'm going to say, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of damn coons out here. And, like, yo, we are really doomed, like, and that goes from all sides, from all angles. And some people laugh at the other people thinking they are too. But you know what? You be saying some coon stuff too, bro. Like, we are so damn weak in every aspect that we can't even see it. It's like, it's crazy, because that's why I'm like giving people an opportunity to come on here. And I want you to tell me where I'm wrong or right at, or what I missed or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But the way we are right now, we are so damn weak, you know what I'm saying? And but I'm not going to get on Black people, because that's what we love to do, right? That's what we love to do. And it may seem like it, but it's not, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to talk about one of y'all greatest weaknesses then, while I'll give y'all time to come on here, because like I said, man, I'm going to always go in on the most dangerous species in the universe here, you know what I'm saying? All right, so I don't know if y'all seen this, right? And we talking about LeBron James' son.
Has had his
like LeBron James' son right now. That recently he been in a thing with the white girl, you know what I'm saying? And check this out though.
fair share of relationships. As of right now, he seems locked in with almost 2-year girlfriend Peyton Gelfuso. But Peyton was
Because like, and the thing is, when y'all be saying like white people was slaves and white bitches was this, it's really y'all are saying, y'all are acting like coons, making excuses for why you can like let them in, and for the y'all really is just making excuses for your cooning, bro. And as you wrapping it up in different kind of topics, like trying to be like, oh well, they were slaves, like, which is not true. But even if it was, what do you care about white on white crime? Right? A lot of y'all talking points is clearly y'all love for white bitches, trying, well, not just white bitches, because y'all want to be accepted by them. And a lot of y'all talking points, when we be saying we're this, we're that, we're everything but the group of people who we supposed to be. Right? These people like, well, we don't need to support Black businesses because all poor people, right? Or all oppressed people. That's nonsense, bro. Like, and it's really y'all excuse to let these white bitches into y'all cookouts and you don't have to feel ashamed. That's really what it is, right? That's what makes me mad about the talking points that y'all have, because it's really y'all trying to let other people in. It's just a damn excuse, and that's the truth, right? You are saying this because, and then you go look at the mulattoes 20 years from now and recognize like, well, the Blasians, I predict it's going to be the Blasians next. That's going to destroy y'all and have y'all, or us, our children. Because y'all can't even, man, check it out.
years old, Bronny has had his fair share of relationships. As of right now, he seems locked in with almost 2-year girlfriend Peyton Gelfuso. But Peyton wasn't his first relationship. His first public fling was with college girl Haley, who shot her shot via TikTok. They kept sending hints to the public via social media, but it wasn't until his 17th birthday that they confirmed they were a thing. Like most high school relationships, they didn't last long, but Bronny didn't seem too heartbroken as he was out of high school and in college. It seems like they were serious, considering Tori crashed a family dinner. She made sure not to be too flashy that she was with the James family, but she did post an image of her glass of wine next to Bronny's arm. Like, come on, girl, we all know what you're doing. Finally found the one. Peyton and Bronny seem as in love as ever. Even though they are long distance, they often fly out to see.
Now, straight regular white girls, you know what I'm saying? And we talk about generational wealth, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that that's clear, you know what I'm saying? But also, listen, man, like, that's a self-hatred kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying him or nothing like that, but listen, by the time his grandkids is gonna be born, you know what I'm saying? Look at you know, what's his name? The quarterback for Kansas City. Look at his kid. That's what his grandkids gonna look like. You know, we never gonna knew like who LeBron James was, or he was a white guy, you know what I'm saying? But this is a reaction about it. All right. So I guess let me see if it's gonna play.
He went to prom with a white girl?
Yeah, I seen it.
And he got dragged because of it, right?
I saw that.
I'm gonna show you the picture.
I mean, they look nice though. All right. No one dragged me in the comments, but I went to prom with a white boy.
Prom with a white boy.
But he's like my.
Boo! Next! I was gonna ask you a personal question, but I don't want to scare you.
No, say it.
Did he beat that night? It's prom night.
Absolutely not. Do we really expect anything else though? Honestly, though, if you think of like a Division I athlete, all them, the white girls are their thing, and he's basically just setting himself up for that. So it didn't surprise me.
The only thing that I was wondering is like how hyped she felt that she was going to
with Bronny,
with Bronny.
You got English on this?
I feel like as long as he's not disrespecting anyone, love who you love. Everybody has their own preference.
Ain't no love who you love. Well, anyway, man, like, and I would tell you this, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll say it. I'm a black dude. I don't like seeing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like seeing it. But I'm talking about with if I see a sister with a white dude, that's gonna just look disgusting to me, and I'll be like, damn, you know, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And as brothers, like, God damn, yo, when are we ever gonna learn? This is why I talk about it, because this is your greatest weakness. This is what keeps us from whatever. Now, this is not so much about him. This is about this dude here. You know what I'm saying? And I'll let him represent. Of course, he got a commercial on it, but I'll let him represent y'all boy First Rifleman on this one.
Believe that black culture really doesn't exist per se, because you have your criminal element over here, more than likely getting attacked by the same people that he wanted to pander to. Leave Bronny alone, leave Peyton alone. You know, if they're happy together, good for them. Good for them. But the Wolves, they don't.
No, I know it sounded excruciating. Like, we know that this dude, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, like, it be people who be talking about like they pro-black and all of this stuff. Like, they say the same thing and they don't think that they don't sound the same. They sound the exact same to me, right? A lot of people that y'all give excuses to, right? They say the same nonsense. Just listen to what he say and tell me this is not the same stuff that black people is saying, because we on somebody else programming at this point.
They don't want to hear it, man. They don't want to hear it. And let me address something about this whole black culture thing. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? You know, to some people, you know, I don't believe in one particular type of black culture. That's why I believe that black culture really doesn't exist per se, because you have your criminal element over here. You have stand-up citizens over here. How in the world is that one united black culture? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up wanting to be a thug. I didn't grow up hating the police. My best friend, who's black, he's a cop. But LeBron James, this is the kind of people that are crushing your son. You created this. You created this, LeBron James. This is pretty pathetic, guys.
No, y'all created this. This is the problem. Y'all created this whole culture. You know what I'm saying? And I'm blaming all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I'm gonna be real. The only way to get around it is total destruction. But whatever, man. So let me play this. You know what I'm saying? Because this is another thing here, right? And it's really the mindset that we have, and not so much, you know. Because I'm gonna keep showing you these white bitches is dangerous, but it's the brothers who keep loving them. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to this brother here.
On IG telling everybody not to go see the movie because Black Spider-Man is interested in the Snow Bunny.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to read it to you?
Oh.
So Black Spider-Man got a white girl even.
Totally thought you was me. I thought we was past this. I thought we was past this entirely. You know what I'm saying?
Jungle Fever. I just saw this.
It's about why we wear that mask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's bigger than just the spider. You can look at it as you can look at it as like Spider-Man, but I relate everything to my reality. You know, that mask.
Damn, yo, even this gotta come up. Saying how.
For me, could be basketball, it could be acting, it could be, you know, having your own radio show or whatever it is. So these characters are looking past that mask. You know, Gwen and Miles are representing something that's bigger. They're representing humanity. Their specific story is about spiders and their superhero lives and whatever. But in this film, we get to see like it's bigger than that, you know, and it's hard to really like. I know because I've walked the Black experience where.
So like when you get a Black Spider-Man, I guess this is the writer. He talking about their work for humanity.
Their specific story is about spiders and their super. These characters are looking past that mask. You know, Gwen and Miles are representing something that's bigger. They're representing humanity. Their specific story is about spiders and their superhero lives and whatever. But in this film, we get to see like it's bigger than that, you know, and it's hard to really like. I know because I've walked the Black experience where Dr. Umar is coming from and the key about it amongst us or whatever. But like, you know, brother, I mean, look how this is unity. You know what I'm saying? The world that we live in, the world that we walk in, especially in New York, it's not just Black, it's not just white, it's not just Asian, it's a mixing pot. And that's why this movie.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, we are straight doomed, yo, because unfortunately, this is what like almost damn near 90% of Black people be talking about. Like, we find different reasons. We be like, oh, well, you know, they was because they got this kind of mindset, bro, and you always gonna be at the bottom of it. You always gonna be at the bottom of it with saying this type of nonsense. Like, it's crazy. Like, what in the hell is wrong with like Black people, man? Like, we are like so diseased, bro. Like, after all of this stuff that we talked about during history, you know what I'm saying? This is why y'all make up that nonsense about it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all find different kind of ways. Y'all listen to all of their talking points and use them against each other. Like, they feed both sides the same talking points. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you not see that? It don't got nothing to do with like, well, you know, all of the bodies that white bitches is responsible for. Right, when we talk about a Black child and a Black family, because we know we at the bottom, we have hoods now instead of communities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? First, get the neighborhood back and the community back. How can you do that with outsiders? You don't only group that allow other people to open up stores in the middle of your community, talking about, well, you know, all lives matter, but you go to their community like whatever. They ain't trying to hear none of that. Right? We act like Jewish people don't go to Jewish stores. Mexicans got Mexican grocery stores they go to. I see them all the time. But no, we sitting here still talking about this nonsense here.
Key about it amongst us or whatever. But like, you know, brother, I mean, look how this is unity. You know what I'm saying? The world that we live in, the world that we walk in, especially in New York, it's not just Black, it's not just white, it's not just Asian, it's a mixing pot. And that's why this movie is special. That's why the kids are gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's about writing your own story. It's not about somebody telling you, you know, how your story is supposed to go and what's acceptable. Like, live your life like that.
Bro, ain't it them telling you that you gotta have a white bitch as the lead character if you got a black person there. It can't just be some black family stuff. Like, are you in control of it? Like you trying to say you are? Or do you have to follow a script to get in a certain position?
Because it's about writing your own story. It's not about somebody telling you, you know, how your story is supposed to go and what's acceptable. Like, live your life like that. Mind your
Absolutely.
vision and diversity and progress, and then get mad when we get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yo, let's talk about, if we want, you know, some beautiful black love story animations and etc. Cool. That this movie allows that to happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
So you gotta, in order to have black love, you gotta have a white dude and a black woman, or a black man and a white woman. This allows it. So he knows what he's saying because he's jumping all over the thing. And I used to be like, man, why are they saying they like dumb or whatever? No, they're doing this on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we are straight doomed. You know what I'm saying?
about, if we want, you know, some beautiful black love story animations and etc. Cool. That this movie allows that to happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I could go make something else. Dr. Umar can write something. You know,
Yeah.
what do you
That would be
I
you
got
know what I'm
you.
saying? Like,
I got
let's
you.
talk about original IP. That's where
Mhm.
diversity is going. That's where inclusivity is going.
Mhm.
You know, right now I'm playing Spider-Man. Like,
All right, so he's just playing it, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't like the response from him, you know what I'm saying? So speaking of this, you know what I'm saying? Now I know that this is a white bitch that was probably at several cookouts today, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Even as quote unquote diverse as she is, that white bitch card is still going to come up. You know what I'm saying? Now she like, yo, stop with this damn Karen stuff, because not all white bitches is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And they will turn their back on you in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Now all of them other white dudes is like, oh, now you learning, but them you an N-word lover, and that's gonna come back to bite you.
Of their colleagues. This type of work environment is just fantastic. I haven't heard rhetoric that extreme, but there is an entire industry where authors and academics make a killing conducting trainings that simply tell white workers to shut their mouths and take kindly to hours of being told they're all the same. They're all racist, they're all hateful, they all deserve what's coming to them. And it should come to no surprise that DEI trainings.
Now this is a white bitch that a lot of y'all love, you know, Bakari's boy, dude, he be on her channel and all of that stuff. And he talk about Karens all the time, does he not? And now she like, oh, well, don't say we're all the same. She's being just like every other white bitch and saying, well, don't just say that. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what your diversity and inclusion is going to always get you.
Hours of being told they're all the same. They're all racist, they're all hateful, they all deserve what's coming to them. And it should come to no surprise that DEI trainings like this have led to lawsuits because they include, you know, discrimination. In 2020,
discrimination against white bitches. Now you see, when groups of people have their own target, you know what I'm saying, or I said before, like, you know, what your allies, you gotta ask what their goal is. What do they hope to achieve? And it's the same as you. You know what I'm saying? Because before you can even do a friendship, you gotta know how far you can do a partnership. You gotta know how far that can go, right? But if you sit there and be like, yo, people of color and white allies, and say all of this nonsense that we got to constantly say, like people of color and all of this nonsense, bro, like, this is a person of alleged color who now is mad about the word Karen and saying stop stereotyping white bitches like me.
we've taken the bait in this extremely successful divide and conquer strategy. And to be honest, I've been struck by how effortlessly callous the online discourse has become. Any out of context viral video that features a conflict with a white woman is automatically considered evidence of a racist act, even before we have all the details. The latest example involved a pregnant hospital worker named Sarah Comrie in New York. She was captured on.
Now I told you they with this white bitch here who was sitting there talking about some help, they're trying to assault, like lying on them, sitting there talking about they're assaulting her, and she's sitting there yelling help right? What do you think generally happens? That's why people pull out their phones to record these white bitches. Now, like, it is what it is. But all of a sudden now she does not understand after all of the years of like supposedly kissing your ass. But now that you call out the white bitch, or the white bitch in her is going to come out. You know what I'm saying?
On video during an argument she had with a black man.
And all y'all black people sitting there apologizing and all that. Just shut up, man.
And over a city bike in Manhattan. The man claimed that he paid for the bike rental, but Comrie disagreed.
No, record it. Help me! Please help me! It's not your bike. Please help me! It's not your bike. Please help me! Help! Please get off me! What's going on?
The dominant online narrative was that this racist pregnant woman tried to steal a bike from a black man and then made herself out to be a victim with her white tears. Her attorney later provided receipts.
Right, people out here like, oh, those white tears. Yeah, the white tears that white bitches are known for.
It's claiming that she in fact paid for the bike, but it felt like no one thought it might be a good idea to just wait and see what the truth was before attacking her. Her employer at Bellevue Hospital.
Yeah, we've tried that, and like whole cities have burnt down because of it. You know, white bitches is probably more responsible for death than anything in the universe to us. All right, to black people is probably, white bitches have a pretty high hand in that, but it's pretty high hand in everybody. So,
Hospital was immediately contacted. She was placed on leave pending an investigation. Now her attorney is looking to potentially sue media outlets that propagated false allegations about his client. But we still don't know the full story. And it's better to wait and see how this develops before people try to destroy a stranger's life and livelihood. So, do we feel better about racism in America today? It certainly feels like we're becoming more divided. We're definitely more obsessed with.
She's trying to say we're more racist because we are calling out white bitches now. And now that makes it more racist, right?
Whipping out our phones to surveil one another because God forbid we fail to capture one of our peers in their worst moments. Simply put, I absolutely loathe this crap. And I can't pretend like I'm above it because I engaged in a lot of it myself.
She made millions of dollars off of it and herself. Millions of dollars. And a lot of black people sit there and support this kind of stuff. And this goes for all of them little like groups. Like if you listen to what they be saying about like black people is like, they, because we stuck on this white abolitionist thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't see how any of us like be support, like even with the brother John, I don't like to play his videos, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes that's the only way you could get their videos, you know what I'm saying? And you can see all of this stuff, you are talking right into the white, so the white privileged victims. Now all the black people and all that stuff is saying, well, what the hell? What are you doing? Right, and this person said once again that white women are the all-time champs of throwing rocks and hiding their hands. You only have a problem with the term Karen because it focuses on white women's BS like you, right?
And I have deep regrets about that. Karen hunting is a destructive symptom of the powerlessness people feel as they're more atomized and alienated from those around them. It's the abscess that forms from the lack of an organized movement that values the humanity of individuals while fighting institutions that propagate inequality. It's what happens when society fails to understand the critical nature of solidarity in fighting systems of oppression. The Karen narrative flattens an entire category of people, white women, as malignant members of society whose toxicity lay dormant until they're in the.
Listen, no, what she said is all fact. The most dangerous, I just say the most dangerous species in the universe, but she could say it like this.
In fighting systems of oppression, the Karen narrative flattens an entire category of people, white women, as malignant members of society whose toxicity lay dormant until they're in the presence of people of color. It's ridiculous. But back to DEI trainings. Is there any
ridiculous? White bitches, yeah, yeah.
any evidence that they even work? Well, over the years, social scientists who have conducted careful reviews of the evidence base for diversity training have frequently come to discouraging conclusions. Though diversity training workshops have been around in one form or another since at least the 1960s, few of them are ever subjected to rigorous evaluation, and those that are mostly appear to have little or no positive long-term effects. The lack of evidence is disappointing, wrote Elizabeth Levy Palak of Princeton and her co-authors in a 2021 annual review of psychology article, considering the frequency with which calls for diversity training emerge in the wake of widely being told by your colleagues that you're automatically a bad person and you're very likely racist because of the color of your skin. Gonna cause some hostility in the workplace, no? Now, in the case of DEI, Dr.
All right. Oh, damn, I wasn't even sharing this junk. Oh, yeah, I was. All right, my bad, y'all. So, yeah, man, and that's what I'm saying, man. Before you sit there and talk about diversity and inclusion, this is one of those diverse inclusion abolitionist white bitches who is probably at one of y'all cookouts today, right? Just as long as you don't talk about the mess that these white bitches be doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, they will turn on you in a heartbeat, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show you this other joint, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, y'all already know what it is. And y'all could be quiet all y'all want to, and it's fine. I know y'all don't want to talk about this. Y'all rather argue about dumb stuff, but okay.
I'm Booty Bree, and I got a lot of white girls looking for you.
Booty Bree, the white girl that fetishizes black men, but it gets way deeper.
My mommy says sugar mommy and comment down below.
And there's some damn mulatto kid, or some of y'all would say black.
She's a sugar mommy and me too.
Oh yeah.
The crowd. With my mom today. She's working at home.
And I typically have a strict rule against never bringing up anybody's family. But what this white woman is doing is extremely dangerous towards black.
Baby, y'all better join in quick. The money goes quick. Hurry up, join in.
While at the same time mocking black women.
A-B-C-D-E-F-G. These hoes don't like me.
So let's get into it. See, first she traps in the black men.
If y'all like white girls, do it this video right now.
Then she traps in the white women.
White women, where are y'all at? I got all the Hey guys, Booty Bree in the building. How y'all doing? Listen, chat goes crazy, and I need y'all to come join us and make the chat go crazy. Wait, Kevin, everything's double right now.
Sugar mama, come join our live and make some cash, make some rain.
Make it rain on them hoes. I make it rain.
And then proceeds to take those black men out on dates.
Out how I'm gonna be at 4 H. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
And then rakes in all the cash.
I need my money.
But it gets way worse than that.
And I just had to let him punch me because I deserved it.
Yeah, that's a filter.
I'm going live right now in the hospital, and I'm giving away free cash prizes.
Now, it was a time when they had a thing where they was like, oh, white girls act like they got beat up and do the fake cry thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like a thing.
Yeah, that's a filter.
I'm going live right now in the hospital, and I'm giving away free cash prizes. So make sure you join my live right now.
But in her caption, she hashtagged black men, bruised, help, and black eye. When she was really there for COVID. And it's gotten so bad where black men have requested for her to unfollow them.
Hey, unfollow me, gang. I ain't gonna cap.
I'm blocked. It's a $300 fee. Cash out.
And to this white woman who use your children as pawns and entrap black men and make fake accusations against them. This ain't no joke. This ain't no game. It's white women like you is the reason why men like Emmett Till is dead. And why black cities have been burnt to the fucking ground, and why black men are wrongly convicted and imprisoned for white women like you.
All right. Anyway, so, and that's the thing, and we so susceptible that we'll let this happen to us like every single time. It's only been like 700 years and we have the same mindset. But I'm gonna let y'all see what this white girl said about South Africa. And I'm only showing this because y'all love them so much. And like y'all be making all these kind of excuses, you know what I'm saying? And I know y'all ain't really got nothing to say, and that's cool, but it is what it is. All right, hold on, damn, man. Let's see, every joint got all of this on it.
It's not going to show you or tell you, and how I didn't feel safe talking about this until I was back in the States. But we're going to talk about it. So use your context clues, because there's a lot of words that I can't use. I'm going to let you know what farm murders is, why it's happening, where it's happening, how long it's been happening, what are happening to innocent farmers. And then I'm going to tell you how I found out about it and how I wasn't supposed to know about it. Nobody's supposed to know about it. But I'm Brittany fucking Scoville, okay? I'm going to find out shit that you're not. I don't know how, but I always do. So hashtag farm murders is something that's going on across Africa, especially South Africa. Zimbabwe is just above South Africa, and we are about 45 to 50 minutes from the border. People are illegally crossing into South Africa and killing innocent farmers. Now, let me tell you what. Obviously, there's no facts. This is coming from a very trustworthy opinion. And I'm saying opinion because do what you want with this information. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Nobody wants you knowing about it, because nobody's going to want to come if they... I don't know how to say this without sounding racist, but this is how it was explained to me. I mean, if you talk about race anytime, someone's going to call you racist. So this is basically what I got from what I was told. The government is granting people, white African Americans and black African Americans, lands, but the blacks are getting it for dirt cheap or free. And I know everything's two-sided, and this is just the information that I've been told. Black African Americans are granted this land and they are not utilizing it to its full potential, and it's just going to shit, to where white African Americans are using their land for profit and bringing money in, whether it's safari hunting, livestock, or crop. I know that's like a very bold statement of me to say, but that's just what I was told. And so what these black African Americans are doing is killing the white farmers, like 3,000 upwards a year. Because why? Because they are greedy and because they can, I guess. So I basically learned like why this was happening. So now let's talk about what is happening to the people. 2 years ago, I was hunting with my PH and I was on TikTok scrolling and I saw the hashtag farm murders. And I asked him, what is this about? And he hesitated as if I wasn't supposed to know about it. And he said, if you see anybody that you don't know, shoot, stab, do what you got to do. And this year I'm learning information from, I would say, a trustworthy.
Now, she's talking about, and I want you to understand, like, from multiple layers, you know what I'm saying? Not just get mad about it, you know what I'm saying? The black African Americans in Africa are killing, the whatever. But she's telling them, first of all, like, uniting the white people in America with the white people over there, telling them, trying to sound the alarm, you know what I'm saying? Now, she's probably a nobody or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But this unity in this code, like saying, well, these black African Americans are over there doing this, and of course she's saying, they're greedy and all of this stuff, but she's telling them to really arm up, you know what I'm saying, and to do what they can to protect themselves. And this is why I be trying to tell you about arming up and protecting yourself.
You see anybody that you don't know, shoot, stab, do what you got to do. And this year I'm learning information from, I would say, a trustworthy source. He has family in the military and on the police force. And what he's saying and the stories that he has told me, this has been happening since 2020, and it's not talked about now, but it's still happening. If not, it's as worse as it's been. This is where you're going to have to really listen and follow, because I don't know if I can say most of this stuff. So what
I was told is these people will come in, and even though you're in a gated area, a safari area, and you've got all of these gates and you're protected and you have all of these people with guns around you to keep you safe and whatnot, if they want to kill you, they're going to kill you, and there's no getting out of it. They'll have walkie-talkies set up everywhere, so if they really want to attack one farm in particular, but it takes forever to get to the middle of it because of all the gates and the land, they'll sit out about it because it was Black authority police. If you were white and you were by yourself and you have even if you don't,
I wish all of this was true. So like I'm gonna move on, right? I'm gonna show you this because this one was, it's not just the brothers, you know what I'm saying? And this one was kind of serious, right? Because I'm about to wrap it up, you know what I'm saying? Now this sister here, you know what I'm saying, just like a lot of others, you know what I'm saying? Now she's missing right now, like as we speak, and this happened a while ago after moving, and the fiance dude, white boy, you know what I'm saying, is taking her money after she'd moved out to some damn Wyoming with him. But he's saying that she just left and just he don't know where she is. She just moved out one day and then, she just left.
A young woman from Kenya came to America to live out her dream, a newcomer in a foreign land who then vanished. In our Missing series tonight, we take you to Wyoming and the mysterious disappearance of Irene Gakwa. As you are about to see, Irene had big plans for her future. She wanted to be a nurse. She has a family that
Now,
loves.
this is the damn white boy here who she moved to my Wyoming with. And now she like disappeared for like months. Nobody knows where she is.
Her, and they say she would not take off without telling them. They also don't buy the story they're getting from the man she was planning to marry. Irene Gakwa thrived after her move to America, splitting time living with her brothers, making friends, taking classes to be a nurse. Then she met a man on Craigslist.
Because I'm telling you, this coon energy is worldwide, man.
It seemed okay at the time. Everything seemed okay, and I didn't really know Nathan, but I told him, "Hey, if you're gonna date my sister, I really, need to know more about you, and it's gonna take a time or two to hang out."
Kennedy Wainaina learned that in the summer of 2021, Irene moved with Nathan Heitman to Wyoming, and the couple was engaged. Then he says Irene's texts started to raise concern.
So we're from Kenya, and sometimes we mix English and a language called Swahili. We'll mix a word of English, 2 words of Swahili. So I can tell that was her. But then on March 5th, I text her and ask her something, and she texts back in English, like plain English. So now that I know what I know, maybe it wasn't her.
But Wainaina is desperate to know more. Heitman told police Irene packed clothing into 2 plastic bags and announced that she was leaving Gillette, Wyoming, then got into a dark-colored SUV and left the area.
I think that's false. That's a false story. That's just, something he was just saying to just get the police off his porch.
Police were back on that porch soon enough, arresting Heitman, charging him with draining Irene's bank accounts, deleting her email account, and using her credit card at Walmart to buy a shovel, a pair of boots, and a pair of pants. Police say Heitman claimed he did it to force her to contact him in the event she needed money.
Today is 200 days since Irene disappeared.
Stacey Kester never met Irene, but that has not stopped her from putting in hundreds of hours of
making sure that you don't go over those same places repeatedly.
And I've covered many on the lookout for a 55-gallon metal drum, which could be burned and abandoned.
Most recent searches are kind of zeroing in on that barrel, which helps save time too.
Yeah, those. So that's crazy, and this was like months ago, like 8-9 months ago, right? And I'm not gonna play this though, you know what I'm saying? But our brother just did an interview from like 2 weeks ago, and they still talking about they want answers. And the dude is not really arrested. They said they was charging them for stealing their money, but I don't know. He looked like he was walking around free to me. So I don't know. All right. So I wanted to end with something more positive, and I'm gonna do it anyway, right? but this is not positive. It ended up not being as positive as I wanted it to be. And we don't, you know what? We don't even deserve to have anything positive if we can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show these young brothers who was doing something well, but we already know the mentality, because here at the end, you know, we repeat the cycle over and over, which is where we are in the process of starting a new cycle to repeat it over. We have an opportunity to break the time loop or whatever, but here we are, yet another generation that's probably about to go down the drain. You know what I'm saying? Because we say so much nonsense and we are so dedicated to letting other people in and thinking we have all of these friends. And I understand that people may not even like this or whatever, but listen, it's our mentality, bro. Like, the reason why a lot of these people make up all of these excuses and want to make excuses for the mulatto and want to, you know, say all of this stuff like misrepresent history and act like they some other group, is because number one, they probably have a fetish, you know what I'm saying? And that's the number one weakness, you know, but we also don't want to deal with who we are and the things that we do, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to end with something positive, you know what I'm saying? But check this out, right? I'm gonna show you these two students. This student got scholarships to 104 universities, you know, worth up to $9 million, you know.
In the mailbox. A California high school senior with a 4.6 grade point average has received $9 million in scholarship offers. Dylan, a California congressperson.
I knew that if I started.
This isn't a surprise to Dylan's mom, Dan.
He was young, it was always instilled.
No, I'm gonna stop it because they always play that kind of suspect music every time a black person is doing something, you know what I'm saying? And this was another one, another young brother that just got this this year, you know, where he got 125 offers worth not 10 million. It says 9 million, but they said it ended up being 10 million. And it was way more than 125. I think it was like 200 almost. But
a senior at International High School of New Orleans is making quite an impression on the college ambitions.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. He has big things. Also earned millions in scholarships. As for how he did it, well, the teen is very humble and credits hard work and those around him.
Dale College. What school is this? Hilbert College. Always been devoted to trying to get my schoolwork done and get good grades. Always, of course, like the average child.
At just 16, Dennis Barnes is anything but the average child. He's just a few weeks away from graduating from International High School, and he's got a big decision to make. What college will he attend?
I have Loyola Marymount University.
Well, he's got at least 125 to choose from.
It's not normal. I know it's not, of course.
He's proud. She's not surprised.
He's always been very inquisitive.
Array of opportunities.
So, you know, you see, I'm gonna say that's a good thing, right? That the young brother has this opportunity ahead of him, you know what I'm saying? But I want you to hear this question that this white boy asked him, because he was giving him an interview.
Have their college acceptance letters. It says letters now.
Do you think that
How much of
Listen to what he asked
something that I want to do, something eternally? I'm self-motivated.
That's so cool. Yeah, well, Cliff, very motivated indeed. I want to get your take on this. How much of the uniqueness of you has to do, you think, with your race? And by that, I mean, do you think that if you were white or Asian, there'd be so many schools offering you scholarship money and so interested in you?
Do you think that, to clarify the question that you asked me that if I think that I was white, that I would be getting all the scholarships that I would get?
Yeah, you're getting scholarships and being celebrated in the same way.
Definitely. I think maybe not to the same degree, because most people, there are a lot of people that are proud to see just a Black man doing what I'm doing just because of the lack thereof. You don't see it every day. It's not something that's very common. So I would say that I would still be celebrated, but maybe not to the same degree as I am right now, because one thing I'm gonna say is that I did break a record. That is a record that has been broken in the United States. So whoever would have done it, I do believe that there would have been some form of celebration,
Well,
recognition.
there should be. There should be. This is really awesome. What you've been able to accomplish. May 3rd.
Right. So yeah, I just wanted you to hear that part real quick. But so this brings it back to, since it's the end, it brings us all the way back to what I was saying at the beginning as far as like the Black history stuff. Because I talked about, the history of these schools, their schools, you know what I'm saying? And like we got to understand like what their schools develop, bro. Like they develop certain people, you know what I'm saying? Like Cornell Wes's and all of that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so this young brother, you know what I'm saying, it's like resetting the cycle, you know what I'm saying? So he had all of these scholarships, and I'm not going to say whether whatever, you know what I'm saying, but we know that, speaking, bringing back the history with these Black history courses, I mean we know that these colleges was built from. Yeah, he gave a great answer, you know what I'm saying? Because he was thrown off guard a little bit, because the dude asked him, you know what I'm saying? He was like, what? It's like, you asking me if I was white, but anyway, you know, and this is not to like down it or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just how the cycle just is going to keep repeating itself over and over, because we are definitely lost as a people, and that's why we could be so forgiving and so everything and make all this excuses. It's easier to believe the fake history and the pseudo stuff and argue about all of this other stuff than to deal with reality. But all of it is really the same, you know what I'm saying? Like, we may be like, we're not going to do this kind of stuff, and I show this because, like, I don't know why white bitches seem to get brothers so easily, you know what I'm saying? And white people generally, white boys too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see that growing trend, you know what I'm saying? And how we can't even collect ourselves in a kindergarten manner as far as like Black unity, Black nationalism, all of that stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully he marries a Black woman, but where he's going to, Ivy League school, I don't know. He might end up like Bronny James, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, dumb question. Just like that white boy who asked the brother who was like a councilman or something like that if he would be elected or something, or in his position if he was white or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They ask dumb questions all the time, but he is it is a difference from going to, like, when you have prestigious people going to a Black institution, that kind of stuff is important, instead of like, these schools who we know got their founding back in the 1800s, 1700s as racist schools, which we talked about. This is one of the things we talked about in the Black history course, was the Ivy League schools in their beginning. So
A New Orleans teen is making national news for breaking.
yeah, man, I was skipping. Yo, thank you, Holly Favor. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And there's other people in there. They're just, a lot of people are scared to say something here because we're talking about their weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? The next level stuff. But I'm just saying, man, at this point, we are in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully the next generation, you know what I'm saying, will have their minds right. You know what I'm saying? But we going to just put ourselves right back into the same situation over and over. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, this is the last one, so hopefully it worked. But if not, then it's what it is. Because I wanted you to see the school that he chose. Because this is supposed to be a good thing, but you know what? Maybe we don't deserve no good thing right now because we haven't necessarily been doing right. You know what I'm saying? All right, so yeah, it's like messing up for real now. So hold on. See if I can stop. See, I can't do nothing on here. All right, so I guess they don't want that last one to play.
This is
All right,
such a
there we go.
cool story. And today he made his choice known to everyone. Meg Ferris was there when he announced his decision and joins us live here in the studio. Meg.
It is cool. It's impressive. At 1.5, he was hooking up the VCR in his parents' home. In third grade class, presentation was not with a poster and drawings, but rather a PowerPoint slideshow. And now this whiz kid let us know which of the nearly 200 schools vying for him came out on top.
Today, I am pleased to announce my final college decision for the fall of 2023. It is an honor and privilege to be accepted to the Ivy League Cornell University's College of Engineering at Ithaca.
Barnes said he's headed to Ithaca, New York.
Different things that I haven't seen before. I think is definitely first.
And they said they played classical music to him, read to him, because leaders are readers. B1 was their most important lesson.
Now listen. Oh yeah, definitely Holly Favor. I appreciate that. But no, yeah, you definitely like trust me, like they come on here saying, you know, Harriet Tubman didn't exist. You definitely a scholar compared to everybody that come on here. And that's why they don't come on here, you know what I'm saying? So, and definitely shouts out to this young brother, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we gotta definitely keep it real, you know what I'm saying? We know that's why I even talk about Black institutions, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, there are people in position, certain people in position who have a certain mindset. This is why we have to clean up our own schools, right? But unfortunately, when our brightest or smartest or the leaders of the next generation come up, they generally go into their institutions and they generally grow up learning to work for them or to advance their culture. Right. And this is where we have to start reversing the stuff and stop letting each generation come up. Now, he might not say nothing crazy, but he might come on the joint with Angela Davis talking about capitalism and poor white people is this and not Black first, and take a white girl to the prom and all that stuff, and therefore he have to make these excuses, right? And I'm not trying to put that on this young brother. I'm just saying us as a whole, we do this, and they take the youngest or young, brightest, people out of our communities to this day, right? And have them benefiting their society. And this is something that we have to figure out a way to cut off. And I get it. That's a good thing. Now, we taught them to be like the spook that sat by the door and brought it back to our communities. But unfortunately, this kind of stuff is going to keep us in this same loop, Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't agree with that. If I didn't hear about that, I don't know. I never heard about that for real, but I don't know. I wouldn't agree with her adopting a biracial daughter, even though you could say the times was different back then and stuff like that, but I still don't agree with it. But you know, this is the things that we got to learn from our mistakes, because time and time again, the mulatto is a subject that we got to talk about. And like I said, man, I heard somebody say that Andrew Jackson was not Black or was not white, he was Black, or they would have to say mulatto, and then they would say that he's Black because he's mulatto, right? And I wouldn't advise nobody to, if I could go back to that, I wouldn't advise her to adopt a mulatto baby. You know what I'm saying? But I talk about Ida B. Wells too, but I wouldn't advise her to go on a speaking tour through Europe, you know what I'm saying? Either, So it's not that I don't disagree with it, and it's not like I'm saying like, oh, this young brother is wrong, because he probably never been brought up on some black first, black only mindset in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's to advance in somebody else's system, but as long as the system is whatever, yeah, of course you looked at a black man that's not really doing it, because only a handful who accept the right kind of mindset and what not to say is going to be let into the thing. And then you have other black men, even with the John Moran situation, other black men sitting there scolding him, you know what I'm saying you gotta kowtow and bow down to their system to get the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, for how much, how much would you be willing to do that? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. I wouldn't agree with it if it is true though. So no, I would not agree with that. But anyway, that's the point. And it's good that, what I'm saying, these young brothers who are bright, that they can be accepted into all of these. But that's why it's important for us to take care of our institutions. But it's also important for us to be able to point out some things in our institution that need to be taken care of us. Because we don't need them teaching us to be assimilated into their stuff either. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just not going to work that way. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that just it brings us back, because we talked about when Cornell was established and Harvard and all of them in the 1700s. So, that brought us full circle. And I guess it could be a good thing. I'm gonna say it's a good thing for this young brother. Yeah, and Harry Belafonte, you know what I'm saying, the first one to hold a white girl hand on TV. Oh Lord, have mercy! How dangerous is that? And we worship those kind of scenarios. You know what I'm saying? It's not to disrespect somebody like Angela Davis, but like, she had a white girl. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers do suffer from that colorism mindset. A lot of black people, let's be real, you know what I'm saying? Not just brothers, but black people, right? But speaking as black men, especially with the white bitches, it's a damn excuse, right? Because the plainest white bitch, you know what I'm saying, they be like, and they really be like teenage boys, man. But let me not. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? We are doomed, you know what I'm saying? And like the video I was watching earlier before I came on here, they the ones that even made me mad, you know what I'm saying, that made me turn up, you know what I'm saying? They sitting here talking about don't support black business. And this is supposed to be the black intellectuals, you know what I'm saying, who's talking about black liberation. But they're talking about people of color liberation. You know what I'm saying? Miss Vita said Jim Brown always dated black women. Oh, that's a good thing, By the way, what up, Miss Vita? Yo, they be like plain Jane, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, at Cornell, and he probably might be another Bronny situation where he's surrounding himself. But this is like people with generational wealth, you know what I'm saying? And this is a white girl. This is one of the young brightest. They gonna get him into a white environment, surround him with all the white bitches, plain Jane white bitches he can handle. And he's sold in. He gonna be sitting there talking about all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? He might as well be Ahmaud Arbery daddy talking about, all lives matter. And and the people who are not our exceptional or brightest, they also are doing the same thing when they make excuses for like, oh well, white people were slaves too, and all this nonsense, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we gotta that's what we have to realize, you know what I'm saying? He said Jim beat up black women. Oh man. See, I don't know nothing about it. I don't even know. But this is what I'm saying, man, because like our not so brightest, they also make excuses like, well, the white bitches was trafficked and they was slaves too, because they making excuses why they can let them into the cookout, let them into the club, let them be a part of the revolution, why they can have children and marry them. You know what I'm saying? Like, And this is a sick mindset that we are in, and it's like really in our souls, our guts. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with us, man. But we got to get it together, or we're doomed, yo. And I think we doomed. So, anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for listening, especially you highly favorite Miss Vita. You know what I'm saying? Erica, I know Erica in the chat. I hope you feel better, Erica. You know what I'm saying? The rest of them are scared because they probably laid up with their white girl, you know what I'm saying, that they brought to the cookout today. So I understand. And also the truth about history, we could, because I'm showing you stuff that y'all argue about, but I'm showing you something different. You know what I'm saying? They're not here for the slave ship thing. We talked about as black people citizens. They're not here for that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear that nonsense anymore. The first black person was a slave. That's not true. None of that stuff is true when we look at the whole history. So I gave y'all a good opportunity. Right. Yeah, I agree with you. They don't give back to our communities, but it's the regular brothers, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the black intellectual class. They got their form of that. I was just listening to the black intellectual class. They praise like, oh, well, we need to be more like, like the sister I was saying before, what's her name? And Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier. Notice the theme that they all have white wives, the people that they be like, well, they stood in the face and preached about, like, that's that group. That's the intellectual group. Then you have the group that's sitting here that's spooked out, you know what I'm saying? The regular brothers on the street. We all keep making damn excuses. The manosphere, all of them people, you know what I'm saying? They let that plain Jane white girl, and black people still talk about her. We shouldn't even know that white girl's name. You know what I'm saying? Damn. Is that in a year he married her? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's crazy. But that's how it happens. They do this with other groups. And that's the issue, because it's like every aspect, every sector of black men do this. The pro-black dudes, you know what I'm saying? They be like, can you be pro-black and have a white spouse? Who asked that dumb question? No, you can't. Right? But anyway, man, it's all of us, man. That's why they come on here with all these dumb talking points, you know what I'm saying? Because they trying to find excuses, and all of it is the straight coon behavior, you know what I'm saying? So let's be real. But anyway, I thank y'all for coming on here, you know what I'm saying? Highly favored, Erica, Miss Vita. Shouts out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know the truth. The brothers is not going to say nothing, but they won't, challenge me on it either. So I guess they know the truth. But anyway, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. So thank you for that. And you know what? I'm gonna do this. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, my computer is freezing. I can't even I was trying to show something. I can't do it. I was gonna let this be the last words. Let me see. All right, let me try to do this right. I'm gonna let. All right, so yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let these be the last words. My bad for that. My computer is like messing up for real. I don't know what's going on with this. My bad, y'all. So this is the last words. If it come up, it's still like not working. I can't even like get off of here if I wanted to. All right, here we go.
Marry a white woman in California. A lot of you sisters probably don't marry white women anyway, nigga.
Sure. Why should you be happy?
sisters look at you though like you killed your mama when you're out with a white woman, don't they? You can't laugh that shit off either. She's not with me. My wife went to court, man. She looked like she was 12 years old. I said, who is that bitch? And Your Honor, everything happened. Judge started crying. Nigga, we want everything. Do you have any dreams? We want them too.
All right. So yeah, man, that's just for y'all young bro. That's for you, Bronny, right there. And she wants your dreams too. Oh yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. They got my jaw messed up. But anyway, thank you, highly favored Miss Vita, Erica. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we gonna keep falling for anything.